good completely?
I'm good completely, yeah. Okay. We're recording.
Completely. Oh my gosh. Look at us. We're so put together and so scheduled that we're able to go and get baked frickin' goods at the place that we were referencing in the last episode, Fuji Bakery.
I'm actually very proud of you, and you need to take 100% credit because I was not thinking about that at all. And then on the way, you were like stopped in
Tire
the
screech.
Yeah, and you're like, we gotta freaking. And there was like no parking; it was super busy, and you still took your time to like park and get into Fuji Bakery. So we have 3 croissants. Well, one of them.
Items.
3
Ian's
items.
already eating them.
I know. What the hell?
Hell.
Well, I have to be able to talk while you guys are eating.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? Fill in the we gotta do the right thing.
No, that's true.
Like good podcasters would do.
You're like eating with your mouth. There's people with like chewing versions that are like, ugh.
Okay, so the one that I just ate, and they're gonna eat it right now as I'm talking about it, and I'll describe what they're experiencing. They're eating the pumpkin croissant, which is a new one for, I think, the season.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is that? The one with almonds on it?
Yes.
Okay.
The other one has almonds on it, looks like, as well, but less so.
You want to hold it up to the camera like a real mukbanger?
Like a real mukbanger should. Yeah, I'll let Anisa do it. But yeah, I mean, that one was good.
Ooh, there's like chocolate in it.
Yes, little bits of chocolate.
Whoa. Okay.
But yeah, we also had another place recommended. Do you remember the name of it? Because it is either on the Patreon, someone commented, or it was somewhere on the YouTube. But they were like, hey, if you like Fuji Bakery, you're going to love St. Albert's. Or something like that.
I can look it up.
Yeah, I think it was on the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
No, I think that was on the Patreon.
Oh.
Oh, neat.
That one was good. It was very pumpkin-y, good spice, soft, flaky, but just not my flavor profile. So I'll give it a 7.5.
That's fair.
I can't taste the pumpkin at all. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
No, you might have not gotten a pumpkin chunk.
Yeah, because like...
Because it's actually like a
to
almost
keep
pumpkin pie filling inside of it.
Yeah, it's very pumpkin pie
Yeah, I
forward.
might have not got a pumpkin chunk. Tyler from Patreon said, "Ayo, if you're competing with Seattle bakeries, check out Lay. I can't pronounce this. It's spelled ParisIenne. Sounds French.
Yeah.
On
Patisserie.
Fourth and Cupcake Royale.
Is that Parisian? Did you spell... What'd you spell? P-A-R...
ParisIenne.
Parisian, right?
I don't
I have
know.
no idea. My brain is not in that realm.
Oh.
That's
on
almost like
fourth.
the same thing as like doing math. Is if you're like spelling something out to me, I'm like, oh, slow down.
know,
I
I
can keep
can't.
track of this.
Yeah, I can't. If you spell something to me, I'm like a dog. I have no idea what you're saying. And
That's
I also,
awesome.
I can't spell out loud either. Like if you ask me to spell.
There's certain games though that I feel like we've played that are kind of in the realm of that, like spelling things, or maybe that's Jordan. I played a game with Jordan back in the day where it was almost like you say a word, and the other person has to spell it almost immediately
That's
after
such a
you've
Jordan and you.
said it.
Jordan is Radjor, which is Ian's like best friend from high school, who's like a computer programmer. But they always, you guys, what was the one game that you used to play
Ubisoft.
at? Ubisoft.
Yeah.
That's what you used to play at when we went to go get Indian food, and I was so confused.
Yeah, we won't. We'll save that for when Jordan's on the podcast,
Okay.
because that'd be like a fun game to play.
Heads up, it has nothing to do with Ubisoft.
Yes.
And heads up, I actually did eat the rest of that, and I did taste the pumpkin. Got a good pumpkin chunk.
Okay,
Oh,
so
hell yeah.
out of 10, you have to rate the pumpkin croissant.
7.
7?
I'm on the 7. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little. I don't really like super rich foods, and that's super rich, so I can't. I wouldn't eat more than that.
Okay.
All right, well, get
Glad we
ready
split it up.
for Rich number 2. We're going into the s'mores.
I know which one the s'more one is. It's the one with a big cracker sticking out of the top of it.
The s'mores really won us over, to be honest.
Oh my God,
It's so good.
I've never eaten a based croissant before. But that croissant is so based.
So cringe. So funny. This croissant is based.
Yeah, I mean, can we all give it a round of applause?
It's a 10
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, I like that. That's all the different that I need.
It's like a homemade marshmallow. It is so soft. They give you like a chocolate chunk on top. It's like a dark chocolate, so it really kind of like grounds the whole thing.
I also realized that this is not a seasonal thing, as far as I know, because it was there when I went in during, I guess, the summer.
Yeah.
So that probably indicates that it is a staple. It's
So
something they
good.
do best.
I love it. What do you give it, Dane?
Give it a 8.5.
Okay.
We're improving.
Better than the other one, but it's a little too crazy for me.
Okay.
But I like the taste of the graham cracker.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Ian's attacking the pan suisse. Pan Swiss?
Oh, you're already going in on the what's the other one?
Yeah, it's called a pan suisse or pan Swiss. I don't know which one. But it's like a roll with custard and chocolate. Egg custard.
Show it to camera.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've just got a little... Well, Ian, like, killed it.
We're both competing.
But it's just a little wedge. It usually looks like a cinnamon roll almost,
Yeah.
but I cut it up.
This looks good. This is the one that I eyed, and I was like, that one looks good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a bite.
I'm going to comfortably, for me, not for you guys, you have your own opinion. For me, this is going to be another firm 7. It tastes good, but it's not a combination of things that's wowing me.
For me, it's like a soft, sweet bread, almost like a Hawaiian roll,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
but like the custard is smooth. I like the chunks. I'm going to give this one a 9. I love this one.
All right.
I'm going 10 on this one.
What the hell? Oh, yeah, you don't like rich.
No, that's
So
perfect.
That lines up, I
That's
guess.
the perfect kind of pastry for me.
We found it for Dane.
Okay, easy. We know what to get next time.
I wish
was
we
it
had
called?
like a air horn to pull. Pan suisse. Pan Swiss? Pan suisse?
Pansui.
Something like that.
But awesome. We'll check out. That might be. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that place that you suggested in the comments is nearby, and we'll give that a shot. Maybe another time.
Well, upon second read, I just realized that he suggested the La Paransui, whatever it's called. You can read it later, but he also suggested Cupcake Royale.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we should just do
I
it.
thought you were saying that was like the street that it was on. I was like,
No, I thought it was on 4th. He said 4th and Cupcake Royale.
oh,
I thought that was the
4th
intersection.
and
I was like, wait,
Cupcake
Cupcake Royale isn't the
yeah.
street.
That's
I would
awesome.
love it if we just did bakery reviews every podcast.
That's-
sure you
I mean,
would.
that's yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't complain.
All right, so we're going to move from the bakery review onto the next thing, which is we just got back from a trip to LA, where, I mean, our only reason to go there was to visit some friends, talk a little bit about potential creator clash, and for Anisa to finish her back tattoo.
Yes, which I'm done.
Yes, Anisa's all done. That was 4 out of 4 sessions complete.
Yep.
How do you feel?
Man, the first session not using numbing cream, like now that I know that I could have used numbing cream and how much of a difference it makes, I'm like mad.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Anisa and I obviously have a decent amount of tattoos. Neither one of us have used numbing cream up until this point. There's a lot of different reasons. Some people, I think, suggest against it just for the like quality of the tattoo's sake.
It changes the texture of the skin. That's what they say.
Right.
It like kind of puffs it up and makes it rubbery.
Yeah.
And if you don't regularly tattoo with numbing cream,
Yeah.
you can like fuck it up. But like if you go to an artist that regularly uses numbing cream,
Yeah.
They'll-
It's what they're used to, so it's not going to be like a a new variable.
No. Yeah, they kind of know what they're working with and like how the texture changes. But like the first session I went to, he like mapped out all the line work and he told me like you have to do all of the line work today. You can't like break it up because like once the stencil's on, the stencil's on. And I was like 3 hours into the line work and I was seriously considering like quitting and never coming back.
I mean, it seems very rough.
Yeah.
You know, that's after watching you endure the outline, I was like, oh man, this is a different form of torture.
Yeah.
You know, it goes all over your back. There's no rest because
and you're moving from spot to spot,
Yeah.
like huge sweeping, like the snake body. That was a spiritual experience for sure.
And sometimes I think you can get a little bit of a big head getting tattoos, especially if they're like smaller, like palm sized.
Yeah.
Like after getting this one I got done in Australia, I was like, fuck, I could get a back piece now. But it's like, no. I got a small one and that's like clouded my vision.
Maybe though
And it
you
was
would
quick.
maybe you'd do great with a
Yeah, but
back
it was
piece.
just the perfect amount. I mean, that's why I'm in love with these like small palm-sized tattoos, is because it's enough of an experience where it's like a little bit of an adrenaline rush. You go from the outline and now you're into shading, and now it's like, oh, it's a different type of pain that I'm a little bit more comfortable with. Obviously, everyone's different. All the tattoos are different, but the variation, I think, is appreciated, especially when you're getting a big tattoo.
Yeah, I think I would be interested in you getting a top of your thigh tattoo.
Yeah, 'cause that's a big area.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Or like stomach. What would you rather? Would you rather do back or stomach first?
Stomach, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just so much more visible.
Yeah.
It's hard to commit to something on your back.
Yeah. No, that's
That's why, so many people, you're looking at them head on, and then they turn around, and it's just like bare. It's
Yeah.
like no tattoos.
Yeah. Man, even like, so it's healing right now for me, and like sitting right now is like not fun because it's on my ass.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just on my back, it's on my ass.
Yeah, it creeps into your ass.
Yeah. Literally kind of creeps into my ass because the
Creeping
tribal
claws,
into the
tribal.
ass crack. Yeah.
It doesn't go into the ass crack.
Would be kind of sick if it did.
Yeah. Tattoo some tribal that
Coming
goes
out of my
in-
ass.
Oh, coming out of your ass crack. That would be sick, actually. I would love that. Like, that's not a bad idea. I feel like that is almost like comparable to having a spider web or some of these more flexible things like a rose on like your weenus or your knees.
Yeah.
Those areas. But instead, like, make it a trend to, like, out of the armpit is tribal that fucking emerges.
Kind of like venom is taking over your body.
Yeah, something like that. Or you're
Okay.
bursting at the seams.
With tribal.
Tribal.
With the stepdad tribal.
Yeah. Bursting at the seams with Stepdad Tribal. That's my name of my new album. Bursting. But yeah, I don't know. The tattoo looks great.
Thank you.
Where can where can people look at it?
Oh, Instagram. My Instagram, which is Anisa Jama. That's it. ANISAJOMHA.
Or I guess on Twitter if you go there.
True.
But we encourage people not to live on Twitter.
Yeah, everyone's so mean there. Not saying that Instagram comments were like nice,
Right.
but
It's
know.
just, you have to do a little bit more work to see them.
yeah, that's true. Like
know?
all of the comments at the top are really nice. So just don't scroll too far if you don't want your day ruined.
Right.
And then you can see my tattoo.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome. Shout out to all the people out there who have tattoos. Kind of want to get in the habit of doing that because it's like, it's weirdly like, I don't know, like I like it from Hot Seat. Like,
Yeah.
Like I just recently was rewatching some of these shorts, and specifically the one where Dax was like, comment something Halloween or comment something Halloween related or something like that. And I was just like, man, that's great.
Yeah.
Because all the comments are like consistently like just like they're going with it. They're
Yeah.
commenting Halloween stuff.
you also just love that. I remember when S-Fan was doing the creator class stream. and he was like filming you live, and you didn't know what to do, so you were like, "Put a pog in the chat." Everybody put a pog in the
so
chat.
easy.
And you would
Yeah.
like stare at chat. Like, it was just like interesting to you that you could
Yeah.
get people to do that,
True.
which I think is very funny.
The tattoo fandom is dying. Retweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
I think about often like why, because people get really upset obviously about the tattoos. So sometimes for fun, I'm just like, I'll think about like why did I start getting tattoos? Because like it seems kind of like a nebulous like concept. Like why do you start getting tattoos? And like I really think the answer is like I was bored.
Yeah. Of course. I
just
don't
wanted to
think
collect
there's enough
something.
people who acknowledge how often our motivations are literally that.
Yeah, I was just
like,
bored.
What are we doing? We're literally just fucking working to live, and like what comes next.
Also, if I die, everybody knows who I am, right?
What do you
Like
mean?
you don't have to identify my body.
Oh, okay.
It's like you.
Well, I was gonna say
if my
that could be
face-
interpreted a different way.
Oh no! Like if
Everyone knows who I am.
No, not like that. Like if I was like, if I went hiking
right.
and I got lost
Easy.
and if somebody stumbled upon my body,
Mm-hmm.
they would be like, "Well, who's the person with the
Yeah. But,
dad tribal on their shoulders?" Not very many.
Yeah, that really narrows it down.
Like it's not very many, so they could
Yeah.
call you right away, and they'd be like, "You would know right away."
True, but I mean, if it was more than like, I don't know how long this takes for skin to disintegrate, but
A while.
it might be like pretty unidentifiable after a year.
Okay, what if? Well, definitely after. What if, car accident? Don't have my ID on me, and can't tell
Right,
the face.
right.
You'd know.
True.
You'd like look at an arm
True,
and
it
you'd be
does
like
help.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to look at me.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, show me the arm, and you would know. And I think that's cool.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know how it lines up in crime statistics, but I feel like me personally, when I look at I have a little bit of a more discerning brain now that I have tattoos and I'm looking for tattoos. But before I got tattoos, I would just look at a tattooed person and I'd be like, they're a tattooed person. And I don't know how that lines up for like eyewitness reports and things like that. I feel like there might be a little bit of like saying there's a black guy or
Yeah.
whatever. It's just like, okay,
It's a
you really
tattooed
narrowed
guy.
that one down.
Yeah.
Like awesome.
You
and I
very
think,
rarely hear descriptors of tattoos,
right.
which I think is kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Just yeah. I mean, it would be, I guess, maybe handy to know generally for the public what like the 5 main styles are or some shit.
True.
Or at least knowing what tribal is, because tribal is like, you know,
Guy with tribal band.
right.
at
It's
large.
a little identifier, right? It's something. But yeah, I mean, not that it really fucking matters anyway. I was just thinking like, okay, you know, if I were to say, you know, this person robbed me, they had tattoos, it's like, all
Very
right.
vague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tells me that you're going to start looking for people with tattoos, but like
also-
ignoring,
If you're like in Portland,
yeah. What does
everyone
that mean?
has tattoos.
Yeah.
So I think it also depends on like, but you really don't hear that descriptor very often, like a tattooed person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe tattooed people don't commit crimes.
That's true. I actually think that's true. What the heck? Now that I'm thinking about it,
I don't know.
every major crime.
I've seen
killing,
CSI.
True. CSI
Very few school shooters
have
have
tattoos.
tattoos, if at all. Coincidence? I think not.
I think he not. I think it might actually be because you can start getting guns before you can get tattoos.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I also think it's because school shooter types usually,
Value their
Are-
clean skin.
yeah, they're usually that kind of.
They want to take their anger out on others and not themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the psychological way of thinking about it. I was thinking that they're usually more righteous about things.
True.
Oh,
And,
true.
And permanently marking your body as like people always associate it with like being unrighteous.
Yeah,
True. It's against
that makes sense.
the
not
Muslim
halal.
faith. Yeah, it's haram to get tattooed.
or in the Christian faith, they would say it's sinful
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something like that.
Is it? It's in the Christian faith. Are you allowed to tattoo your body? I know Jewish people aren't allowed to tattoo their body.
Fuck if I know. I don't
Muslims
see why
can.
not. You talk to a fucking youth pastor who's all tatted out, he'll be like, "No, it's valid."
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe just like Muslims and Jewish people can't get tattooed.
Well, again, it just
But
depends on like
Christians-
how radical you are, right?
Oh.
How radical you are.
How radical you are. The more radical,
tubular.
the more tattooed you are.
No, the opposite.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a really funny part in Uncut Gems because I didn't know that about Jewish people.
Yeah.
And Julia Fox at the end when she's trying to like console him, like they just had a big fight and she's trying to get back together with him. She's like, "Oh, look, Howard, look what I got for you." And she like shows she got his like name tattooed on her ass.
Oh God.
And he starts crying. He's like, "You can't get buried with me.
Yes. Yeah. You literally. Yeah. It's the same in Islam. You can't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can't even get buried with me anymore."
Oh my God.
All right. From tattoos to Dennys.
Did we?
We talked about Dennys last.
I think we had
podcast,
like a
right?
Dennys.
Well, we're
rant.
going back to it.
True. Okay. Because we had a Denny's experience.
So yeah, there's a couple cuisine comments that I need to make
Okay.
about
Denny update.
during our trip. So I don't know if I gave this breakdown last time. Dane, Ben, and I, Green Drink Gang, we would go get green drinks from Denny's. For those of you who don't know, it's a smoothie, tropical green smoothie is what it's called, I think. We call it the green drink. Every Denny's will do it a little bit different, so it's always a fun little gamble to see how good your green drink is at Denny's. This time we went to a Denny's in Glendale. It's like the only Denny's in Glendale. And this green drink, I'm going to say, was a 7 out of 10.
Which I think
Anisa
is-
thought it was a little bit better than that.
Yeah, I thought it was like a 9 because the mango was like umami. Like not sour and tart. It was like more like the smooth type of mango.
Yeah.
And I like the smooth mango.
I mean, I wasn't tasting that. I could just tell that it wasn't bright green. It was a little bit more pale green. I tend to value the green being like very like radioactive and vibrant. So
think
yeah,
that
I eat with
adds-
my eyes
Oh,
in a
okay.
lot of cases.
Do you really? Are you somebody who really values like the appearance of
I
food?
think so.
Really?
Yeah, unless it like so doesn't like reflect what I'm seeing.
I think maybe because I was raised on Lebanese food, like
Oh yeah, it doesn't. It's not really presented in the
Yeah.
most beautiful way.
yeah, you just
Yeah.
want to.
Well, you got to remember, I am American, and Dane might be able to corroborate my experience. But we have a lot in American culture. We have a lot of like vibrant blue Kool-Aid. Get a big gallon jug.
You guys
fucking crazy, like bright colors and a
Yeah.
lot of effects and a lot of shit like that.
We love the red 40.
We love the visuals. We love the red 40.
You also love separating your food,
Uh,
unless it's a casserole.
Can you elaborate on that?
but we separate the casserole from the other food.
Yeah, you guys separate like there's like sections and you eat them. Like I had friends growing up and it used to really bother me actually. I think because it was so culturally different from what I had, which
Yeah,
was like
but I will confirm this is a North American perspective
North
that you're
American
describing. It's not as exact as only America.
Yeah.
This is like North America, which includes
Canada.
Canada, parts of Mexico.
But I had friends who would eat. We would eat dinner at their house, and they would eat like the meat 1st,
Mm-hmm.
then the broccoli, then they would eat the side. It was
I
usually like a
mean,
sidekicks or whatever.
that's
They
a
wouldn't,
style.
I
That's a
think
style.
That's, yeah.
they wouldn't mix though. Like that's
I
weird.
don't know though. I think
Huh?
I would mix though. Like I don't think my sister would mix. She would
Right.
eat like one section at a time,
Yeah.
but I would mix. So I think that's just a style amongst your family. There's some people who do it. There's definitely, I will say, there's a trend, or it feels as if we keep the things separate when we're plating. We almost like don't want things to touch in
Yeah.
that context unless it comes to Thanksgiving time, and then that's when
Okay.
the white people come out to play and they
Everything
start slopping
dances.
things.
I was
Kinda
imagining Thanksgiving when you're even describing this
like,
scenario.
yeah.
Oh, really? I was just like sitting down with like my
Well, thanks-
grade 8 boyfriend and his family, and like they have like the chicken, the sidekicks, and the vegetable, and they would all eat one section at a
What
time.
are the sidekicks again?
It's like a noodle dish that's quickly cooked.
Okay.
It's like comes in a green package.
Hamburger helper.
Hamburger helper. Yeah.
Ramen.
Well, no.
Top ramen.
Maybe for someone who's living below the poverty line.
No. Sidekicks is definitely for below the poverty line too.
Okay.
But it not below. Everyone can eat sidekicks.
I was actually just
It's
making
affordable.
I was making the point that like the top ramen meme for me, that's like you almost just exclusively eat that alone, or you put just some shit in it. I feel like putting it with a meal is actually more so like.
I think that's sacrilegious.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
I put
Really?
top ramen. Yes. Why would you put you have like sidekicks, hamburger helper, really cheap, easy like sides that are like little pasta noodles that are meant for like eating. Top ramen is like a web of noodle. What do you put the web of noodles on the
Well, I
plate?
mean, putting stuff in it.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
crack an
that's-
egg in there, or
Oh,
I
yeah,
put,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
put like mixed veggies from the freezer section.
Yeah.
Dump those in.
My sister still does that. But I was envisioning.
maybe a bit of garlic bread with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's.
See, I'm saying I used to use it as like a base
That's-
more than
Interesting.
a
that's fair.
single dinger.
I think
thing.
single dinger.
Single dinger.
The plate. I'm envisioning like a traditional,
Yeah.
like middle class family plate that has like a big old hunk of like pork chop, like a little pile of noodle dish.
Yeah, and then a brick
vegetable.
of one of those bricks of top ramen.
No, but that is what when you said that.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat top ramen like raw?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, me too.
that was like super lazy and poor
Yeah,
days.
I loved top ramen.
Too busy
raw.
gaming to even cook it. You know.
Sprinkle that stuff on top.
I would have never thought to do that. I had to see people in the school like breaking up the bags
Really?
and pouring the powder in there, and I was like, oh shit, this is how we're doing it. This is cool.
I miss doing that.
But I will corroborate your story there,
Yeah.
and that the brighter foods are definitely like an American thing.
And bigger.
But as I got older, I realized, oh wait, the shittier the looking the food, the tastier they are. I don't know what it is. Like you go to any Mediterranean restaurant or something, all that food looks like garbage, but it tastes really good.
Yeah, no, he's
What? It's
valid.
just like all brown paste. You're like, what's this brown paste? I'm gonna dip this nasty looking flat bread in it, and you're like, oh wait, this is actually good.
Yeah.
It's just so
No,
my brain has been
I
trained
know.
the complete
Right.
opposite.
It
Because
looks
you-
bad to an American brain though,
Yeah.
because it's not. It doesn't
Like-
have like the big burger patty on it.
Yes.
It's like
Well,
Gavin
even-
McGinnis.
Oh yeah, dude. Gavin McGinnis had the worst fucking opinions on foreign cuisine.
Yeah.
It was like describing things as like diarrhea paste and
I think He was
shit.
calling hummus like diarrhea paste.
Yeah.
I
It
was
does
Look
And
like
curry is-
diarrhea paste.
what the hell? What is with this? Is so.
That actually makes no sense to me. I'm like diarrhea. That's oh, fuck. That's like the equivalent to me
your
of like
shit that
describing. Yeah.
Well, no, it has the consistency of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but so does chili. You wouldn't call chili diarrhea.
oh, I would
paste.
though. I would.
Really?
I mean, it looks like
Wow.
everybody thinks that, right?
Yeah.
What
Look at
about
this
refried
bowl of
beans?
shit.
Yeah, that looks like shit too.
What the hell?
I don't know. I think we just love
just-
shit.
I mean, any brown like
I feel like at that
chunky
point,
liquid.
yeah. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, what a, just feels pointless at that point because you have so many foods that are just like, yeah, I guess if it's any hue of brown, you're on the hook for it being shit.
It's a shit paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hey,
M&M
I'm not trying to knock.
oh yeah,
hummus.
no, it's valid.
Brownie filled M&Ms are just shit filled M&Ms.
But I will say for the first like few years of my adulthood,
Yeah.
I actively avoided hummus because I thought it looked bad.
What?
Interesting.
This is so. It's just so.
Yeah.
It's so hard for my brain to understand because it's for me those foods are like the equivalent of like comfort, like it's comfort foods.
Yeah.
So it's like hard for me to understand people like looking at it and
We were just raised differently.
Yeah,
you were
no,
raised in a household where that was commonplace.
I'm trying to put my brain in the body of a young
Buck.
person, of a young buck who's who hasn't had foreign cuisine at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been bombarded by different advertisements that make things look a certain way. And, like, I guess the bread is an example. I'm, like, picturing some of these advertisements, what kind of bread is advertised to us. And it's always, like, Wonder Bread, like, fat, like, Texas toast-style bread a lot
Very
of the
puffy.
time. Yeah.
Which, like, Lebanese, like, flatbread is, like, as thin as possible.
Yes, and it doesn't look organic. It looks very extruded. It looks very, like, uniform. And I think for our brains, like, we really like things that are not humans, but I think Americans have been trained to like the uniformity of things because it's very processed, and I think it feels, even though it shouldn't feel safer to eat, it feels safer and closer, more familiar, I guess is the word.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I can't think of anything. The closest thing I guess an American would think to something like a pita bread is like, or naan bread, is like pizza dough,
True.
which is like, I don't know, that's as crazy as we get with that
Yeah.
kind of bread, I guess.
I mean, think about like cranberry sauce, like in the can.
I love it.
I mean, a lot of the time they just fucking plop it out
Yeah.
out of the can.
And then they
And you can
slice
see
it.
the ridges in it. All.
Yeah.
It's all like, it looks like it came out of a can, but
Yeah.
it's still like, it's a part of an American tradition to eat processed food, even if it's combined with what would look like a more like home cooked kind of meal.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We still need our canned slop.
Yeah, I picture the clear barrel of cheese balls that's rotating in my brain right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a piece of American cuisine.
Little
I'm
item that you can
picturing-
pick up.
Yep. I'm picturing little slices of American cheese all stacked on top of each other, individually wrapped.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a big hot dog that's rotating.
I'm seeing you rotating your hands.
Sorry, I got a message on Discord.
I grew up eating something called kibinaya.
Oh my god.
Could be what?
What's what?
No. You saying kibinaya.
Oh yeah, I grew up eating kibinaya, which is like a raw lamb that has been like pulverized with, I think, bulgur and like different spices, and then they put like olive oil on it, and then you just eat it raw with like pita bread. You can eat it raw without pita bread too, but I didn't know that that wasn't normal. So when people were freaking out about like eating like raw fish, I was like, well, you guys don't eat raw meat? And everybody was like, what are you talking about? And then I got told I had worms. So I thought I had worms for a long time. I was like, oh my God, do I have worms?
Right.
Because I was like, I don't know, 10. And all the kids were like, you have worms. That's how you get worms.
That's sad.
But I don't know. I don't know why I was able to eat raw meat. I don't know if like we went to there was a farmer who killed halal meat. So you have to have like an imam come in and like do a prayer, and then they like
An imam is like a
priest,
priest
basically.
or a character like that.
And then
I have a mom.
and then they have to sneak up and like, kill the animal without it knowing with a really sharp blade. And my dad would have to go to the farm and watch the killing to
Just
make
to
sure
ensure that it was
like proper. But I guess maybe because we were going to a specific farm that, is very small and like they take care of their animals, like the idea of like
yeah.
E. coli and shit is probably very not
Yeah.
a problem.
You're not worried about it. You're not supplying to a million people.
If you like went to a fucking Stater Bros and picked up a lamb shank and like mashed it up, you probably would be playing with fire, I imagine.
Yeah, that reminds me of just like kind of casually making like sushi at home.
Yeah.
And like just, from whatever you buy at the store,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, it's just raw fish. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's raw fish, but maybe it shouldn't be on those shelves.
Yeah, I mean, like they give it to you with the idea that you're going to cook
Cook it, yeah.
Because like you can, I think with salmon and other like fish, if it's frozen for a certain amount of days, it kills the parasite. You're like fine to use it. If it's farmed salmon, it's fine to use. But like if it's wild caught and you're like, I'm gonna make sushi with that, you're like basically asking to get a parasite. Which like a lot of the salmon that we have at our store is wild caught.
Yeah. So another food, a couple of food experiences while we're in LA. We had crumble cookie for the first time.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Ian didn't want to get it for so long.
yeah.
What's crumble cookie?
It's there's like this really big fad on TikTok where
I mean, it's old by this point.
Yeah,
I would
it's
say the
old.
fad's dying off.
yeah, but like
The crumble cookie fandom is dying. Retweet.
but like it
It's a giant cookie. They give you giant cookies.
6 of
Well, I
them.
shouldn't say that they're giant. They're like that big around.
pretty big.
But
They give you 6
they're
and they're different flavors every week. And then so on TikTok there's like different TikTokers that will review the crumble cookies. And my favorite is this guy who's like, let's turn it and let's dive into it. And then he like
that Keith Lee?
No,
Okay.
different guy. And he like unhinges his jaw and like fucking shoves the cookie so far in that he like eats like
right.
it's like a giant shark bite out of each cookie.
It was a good cookie, but I don't know. Like not for the calories and not for the price.
Dane, a cookie this big,
Yeah.
guess how many calories in the whole cookie?
He
You
has
always
no
have me
concept
do.
of calories.
You always have me guess stuff, and I always go way too far up.
I know, but it would be fun.
Well, let's say this: how many calories in a can of Coke?
Like somewhere around 300, probably.
About
250.
200, I think.
Yeah, 250.
I
300.
think a can.
Oh, a can's a little
is
less.
110. I think a can.
Oh, really?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay, a bottle. would
A
be
bottle
about
of Coke
200.
is 250.
Oh, a bottle of Coke is 250. Okay. So, I mean, I'm gonna guess like 700 calories in the cookie.
800 calories,
Okay. Damn.
which is
Damn.
insane. So, but they tell you on the advertisement 200 calories because
What?
it's 1/4 of the cookie.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the serving size. I hate it when they fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Very
we had
obnoxious, especially with something like that, where it's like, oh, you like, who eats it in that fashion?
Yeah,
like,
no one.
You're not going to have. It's not like a pizza. I would get it if you told, by the slice
Mm-hmm.
amounts for a pizza, but it's a fucking, or even the pie, because when we were at Denny's, we were looking at that. They told
Yeah.
you the whole pie was like 3,000 calories a slice, 500.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I hate it when restaurants that are like intended as like a kind of get in and eat it and then leave kind of situation instead of like picking it up and bring it back home kind of situation. When those things are designed to only eat part of it, I'm like, now I have something to carry around.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a responsibility now to carry this half a cookie around.
That's also why I don't like eating at restaurants, period. Because like a lot of restaurants, like the portion sizes are too big.
they'll
for me to
overdo it.
finish.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it if you're going straight home after the
Yeah.
restaurant, because then you don't have to worry about it too much. But if you're like out on the town in the city for the day, and you go to a restaurant for lunch, and then you eat half of it, you're like, oh, now I have to carry this around.
Yeah.
Or just get
I
rid of it.
had this like really bad memory while you were talking about that of a guy I was dating before you. We were in Temecula. There was one good restaurant in all of Temecula. It was a Chinese restaurant, and we ordered food. And Chinese food, you get a lot of it, right? And we didn't know what to do. We were like, we have so much food, we'll pack it up. And we packed it up, and we left, and we forgot the food on the table.
Oh my god.
So she came running out, like yelling after us. But both of us were so antisocial that we were scared to have we were embarrassed to like have this interaction. So we just kept walking. And she chased us for like a while. And we could never go back.
Yeah.
So, because like I'm not going to go back after that. It was so embarrassing. And so we had to only eat Taco Bell. It was the only thing other than that Chinese place.
You cross that off your list.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hate.
shit.
I don't know what's with me. My brain is like so fucked. I'm like, oh, I did the bad thing. I need to leave.
Yeah.
I need to get out of here.
Man, that's so interesting. Yeah, I was talking about. I mean, that like. I guess in your case, it wasn't like in too deep kind of thinking.
No.
It was way more so like I didn't want like by the time you realize like oh I should have just like saw what the deal was because you didn't know right away that you were.
It was kind of in too deep thinking.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, because we had left. We had left the door. We had
Right.
left the stuff on the table.
Right. Yeah, so it's a little bit of like, I'm so far away now, and
I
also
probably hurt her feelings. Like I didn't remember to
right,
take
because now you have to
food.
acknowledge that person. You have to like
Yes.
face that person. You have to go back in the restaurant. It's almost like the equivalent of like leaving without paying or something. It's like I don't even like want to go back and pay now to some extent because I'm like I don't want to have these people think I was trying to get away with it. Or
That's
something.
another horror story I have. Is I dated a guy a long, long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the waitress chased us out because he didn't tip her, and I didn't know that. That was really uncomfortable.
Wait, say that again. Because you said some different like
The waitress chased us out of the restaurant.
chased
This is
you out.
a different time, way earlier. I was maybe
Right.
like 19.
Oh,
because
before you
he-
even like ordered anything.
No, we had ordered, eaten, paid,
Right.
left. The waitress chased us out, like
Oh,
followed us.
Okay. When you said chased us out, I'm thinking
Sorry.
that they're a fucking aggressive monster, and she's like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
I thought she had a broom in her hand and
I
she was
mean-
beating you in the back of the head with it.
Valid, she should have,
Yeah.
because like, who the
She
fuck
but
doesn't?
yeah, I get what you mean.
tip?
She was, yeah. She
So
was-
she was like, "Are you not
chasing,
gonna
I
tip
guess,
me?"
Is the right word. Yeah,
And like, it was so embarrassing
that is embarrassing.
for him, not for
I
her.
wonder. Yeah, it almost always has to be like a, in my opinion, like no tip to get that kind of response.
Yeah, it was no tip.
Because like I feel like even like gratuities are sometimes like pretty low, like 10% or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and like they're obviously like fine with it, and
Yeah.
they're good as long as you're fucking putting some amount on there. Like they see that you're
Trying.
it counts for something. It adds up when you're seeing a lot of different people, but
Yeah.
no tip is like it's just one of those moments where like if everyone did it,
A waitress would lose money.
yeah.
Like there were nights where I literally lost money.
Yeah.
Because you have to tip out the bar and you have to like tip out the kitchen. So like if you didn't make enough in tips, you were like fucked.
Yeah.
And you only get paid $7 an hour. I think you guys in America get paid even less than that.
Well, I mean, depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Like Mississippi, Alabama, you probably paid
No.
fucking $5.
I'm pretty sure it's like 2 universally or something. It's something fucked.
I do not believe that. If you're a waiter, waitress,
I'm telling you,
wait staff,
it's very low. It's way below
let me
minimum
know
wage.
in the comments.
Because in Canada,
I'm not doubting you. I'm not doubting you. I just want the fucking. I want to hear opinions on that.
it's low. Because in Canada,
Yeah.
you don't have to pay servers minimum wage. They're special.
Yeah.
You pay them way below
Yeah.
minimum wage.
No, I get that. I just mean to say that like I don't know when things change, and I don't know how it applies to a specific person's situation because
Yeah.
like. You hear what the federal minimum wage is, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, that's horrible." Like,
Yeah, but
how
state to
can anyone
state,
make
it's-
any money? And it's
yeah.
like, well, no one fucking does the federal minimum wage
Yeah.
only. It's
I
like,
will say,
According to Google, it says that the average minimum wage for a wait staff in Washington is somewhere around $17.
oh wow,
And the minimum wage in Washington, for reference, is $16.30.
wow. I mean, okay. Well, I can't speak for America
Right.
or currently, but me when I was a server, when I was 20, 19, 20.
even still,
I
That was
was
10
making-
years ago. I feel like it's the average wage of everybody's gone up by
That's
quite a lot
true.
lately. Not enough, but it has gone
Yeah.
up quite a lot in the last decade.
But even back then, $7.50 was the minimum wage. Like what you had to pay other workers was $12.50. So we got paid $7.50,
yeah.
and then we were like expected to have tips on top of that to make up our salary.
That must be some Canadian shit because I don't think you could get away with that in America.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. That's what it was 10 years ago. So if I didn't get any tips, my paycheck was horrendous.
Right.
Horrendous. But I can't speak for America.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how it works
Yeah.
at all.
All right, now we're going to take a quick break and tell you guys to check out She Ruined My Career on Spotify. We're on Spotify Podcast. I think we are going to try this time to maybe enable like a podcast form thing on Patreon for like the extended edition. I haven't fully looked into it, but we've seen an option on there so you guys can listen to the podcast on Spotify through Patreon, something like that, like the extended version.
That's really cool.
I believe how it works is maybe you connect your Spotify account to the Patreon account, and then it'll unlock the ability to listen to the extended edition on Spotify
Okay.
somehow.
Yeah, we'll give that a shot. From the last podcast, we got, I think, 250 listeners on Spotify.
Wow.
So,
Apparently, most listeners are on Spotify for most podcasts,
yes.
which we didn't know. We were like, we're going to spec heavy into the YouTube.
Yeah.
route.
Yeah, I just watch, Dane and I, we just watch podcast clips on YouTube. So we're like, that must be it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast on Spotify.
Yeah.
I do.
Nice. So that's there. And I think, most of our traffic was on Spotify, which makes sense. It's like the best place to listen to
Yeah.
that stuff on.
Also,
I haven't used Apple or Amazon.
I think it's probably just good to like promote the Patreon again. The last podcast that we did, we got like 10 new patrons, which is fucking awesome.
At this point, no, I think it's 10 to 15, somewhere in there.
15, which is fucking cool. So we put on like an extended extra 40 minutes if you like the podcast. And then if there's like last week we had a flub where like the video was corrupted. So we just put an extra whole podcast plus the extra 40 minutes. So, and we want to add more benefits as well eventually, but
And I'm going to start time stamping where the extended edition starts because people were asking for that.
oh, cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful.
So if you listen to the first part of it here and then you're like, I want more, then just go and check the description of those for the timestamp so you don't have to listen to the whole thing again.
Oh.
Also, quick shout out to Mackie, the audio company. They gave us these mics. We're still working on an old soundboard, but we're looking into that.
Shout out to Paul Blart who provided the DVD.
Oh,
It's over there underneath the clock.
Oh, blessed.
Yep.
True.
yep.
You want to
Yeah.
hold that up for the audience to see?
Shout out to Paul Blart.
Shout out to Paul Blart.
You know what's really weird is I don't remember very many comedies, but Paul Blart, Mall Cop, I do remember.
I saw Paul Blart 1 and 2 in theaters.
What? There's a 2?
Yeah.
Shit.
They're like one of the few movies that me, my sister, and my mom could all agree to go and see.
Man,
Oh, that's cool. That's
That
actually
was-
Like
a
I could never
struggle.
convince them to go and watch the Harry Potter
Yeah.
movies with me. I could never convince them to go and watch any of like Christopher Nolan movies with me.
what? You couldn't convince him to watch the Harry
No,
Potter?
my family is like the opposite of nerds. Well, my sister is actually a huge Marvel fan these days, so she might have actually really liked to see it back then or
Whoa.
now.
Right.
But back then, when she was growing up, she was not a nerd at all.
I never really thought about that aspect of movie making, specifically for the theaters, trying to make movies that, like, it's not going to be great for any one person, but the whole family will agree to go and
Man,
watch.
Yeah,
you can
that's-
tell that you were raised like with like one sister that
Yeah.
wasn't really like around.
Yeah.
Because like you had how many siblings, Dane?
I just have one sister.
Fuck, I had 4 siblings.
Yeah.
And getting them to agree to anything, like let alone like a movie. Like we used to sit on Netflix or like whatever, like Blockbuster. No one could agree on anything. And movies, it had to be like a Paul Blart or like an Adam Sandler movie for us to go, or we would split up.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I have done that many times.
Yeah.
Even with just a mom and a sister, like it's crazy how divisive certain movies
Right.
can be for families.
I like that idea though of splitting up when
Yeah.
you go to the theater.
Split
That's
up.
so cool. It's like that's a start of living different lives.
Well, like Muhammad, my oldest brother, and my dad would have differing opinions, especially as we got older. Muhammad would always want to go to the like comedies, and my dad would be like, "That's stupid. Like, I want to go to like." I remember there was one time Radio was in theaters, and my dad really wanted to see
I
Radio.
loved Radio.
Yeah. My dad really wanted, and my brother did not like anything else but. And there was like this really raunchy comedy that was going on, so like we got to decide as a family like who wants to go to Radio and who wants to go to raunchy
that's
comedy.
so cool.
How about did your parents go with you and your sister to the movie theater a lot?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of too many times, but I do remember a time when my dad, I think specifically, like paid for me and my like 2 other friends to go watch X-Men 2.
Oh, and then he would go.
And he watched it with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he would just kind of
'Cause
like.
I think there was some casual interest in it.
Okay.
So it was like, all right, cool.
Collectively, though, would you, your mom, your sister, and you go to movies together?
I mean, I don't think so. I can't remember any
There was a
times
time
like that.
where I think my dad's law firm was like doing exceptionally well, where like every Friday he would take us to the movies.
That's sick.
Yeah, and then we would get Marble Slab ice cream.
Nice.
And that
Marble
was like-
Snap ice cream. I love Marble Snap ice cream.
Marble Slab ice cream. You guys have Marble Slab here, right?
I don't think so.
I've heard of it. I just don't know if I've ever had it before.
They freaking mix it up on the marble slab.
Oh, yeah.
Cold
like a cold
Stone.
stone, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was like referring to the way in which it's prepared.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like maybe like marble together like chocolate and vanilla.
That, I mean, I get that. I think for a long time I felt that way too about it. The marble slab near our movie theater, the guy that was working there one time, he had like an Arabic name, and my dad was like, Eid Mubarak, and he got so excited that he gave us free ice cream for a year.
Mind explaining them what Eid Mubarak means?
Happy Eid. Well, Ramadan, so at the end of Ramadan, the fasting, there's a celebration, which is Eid, and saying Eid Mubarak is just happy Eid, right?
Happy Eid.
So,
it's
like-
a celebration. It's an indication that you are part of the Muslim faith.
But yeah, it's like important to share it because it's like such a. It was the happiest like time always was Eid, and you want to like share it with as many people as possible, and like everybody's in a great mood because you just spent the past like
Right.
month fasting.
Yeah. But it's also the case, most likely. Oh, I guess you didn't finish the story. Go ahead, finish the story.
No, I mean that was pretty much it. I mean he was so lit that he
Well,
gave us
gave you-
free ice cream for a year.
Okay.
All of us.
Right.
The whole
So,
family.
I mean, it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
But it's also because the community is like smaller,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, it's a small community.
What's the phrase?
Eid Mubarak.
Okay, so that just means like give me free ice cream.
If you could try it, go to ice cream places and just say Eid Mubarak to
If
everyone.
you just continue to say that,
Enough times.
yeah,
Because it
eventually.
moves. Ramadan moves, so it's not like there's like one. Eid doesn't happen on the same time every year,
Okay.
so it's moving. So it's kind of like it's like a random event.
Okay, I agree. Random event, yes. Epic. Next. So I was. This is a random thought. You know how Dennys has like the rock and roll menu and all of that?
I'm sorry.
You're not familiar with it. Anyway, they got the Who Burrito, they got fucking Rascal Flats, Flapjacks, and all that
What?
kind of stuff.
Why are you saying this so confidently?
They got
have
the
it-
nickel baby back ribs.
The nickel baby back ribs.
Denny's?
Yes. Well,
They
they,
have a
did
what-
for
wait-
a period. It's like the Rockstar menu. It happened for like a year straight or something.
They have what? Who?
A Whoville burrito.
Hoobastank burrito.
What were the names of them?
Good Charlotte. Fucking
They got the red hot chili pepper fajita.
yeah.
What? Wait, those are really good names, Dane. They should hire you.
It's really easy to come up with them. That's probably why they did it.
Yeah. Anyway, they did this for all of these like rock bands during the early 2000s or whatever it was, or later
Oh, okay.
2000s.
So this isn't current.
Later 2000s. No.
Okay.
Around like 2008, 2010, somewhere in there. I was thinking that they should have done, I think, during this time, used like some of these like VH1 shows and TNT and stuff, and made their own food based off the popularity of those shows, like Storage Wars. You know Storage Wars. There's Dave Hester. Imagine like Dave Hester ham sandwich.
Dave Hester's
Blistered peppers. Dave Hester's blistered peppers.
that does sound kind of
And they're
applicable.
shishito peppers.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be sick.
Okay.
It wouldn't apply to him culturally.
Yeah. No.
But
what about Daryl?
Daryl's Sweet Meats? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just putting it out there because I think it would be good with that. I think it would be really good with what's that other one? Operation Repo. Have you seen that, Dane?
No, I actually never really watched a whole lot of those kind of shows.
They're
That's
so
too
good.
bad because we were rewatching that when we were watching Deal or No Deal, and we realized how fake, like how bad the acting is.
Dude,
That's why I've tried to watch those shows before, and I cannot get over how bad and fake everything is.
Dude, Anisa and I,
real.
when we were watching it, we were like, I can't believe we thought this shit was real when we were younger.
I totally
'Cause
thought
we
it was
weren't
real.
even that young.
Yeah, no, I was not that young. I was like, what, 13, 14?
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
legit thought it was all like real.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are acting
Watching it
nuts.
all now, we watched this one, oh my fucking God, where the repossessor pulls up and a couple that just got married, they're still in their fucking marriage outfits, are getting out of the car, and it has just married on the back of the car, and they're
cans.
like, oh, that really sucks that we have to repossess this married couple's car. And I'm like, what the fuck? I can't believe this is a thing. But it's weird because they say, at, I guess, the beginning of the show, I never paid attention to this, that these are like reenactments based on true stories.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay. Sure.
Even still, though, like them being true stories, like doesn't really help it because I'm like, I still don't believe that it was ever even a thing.
No.
Like I don't.
It's like a third-hand story that's
Yeah.
like got so out of control.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
also,
like three me's told the story, and it evolved into like.
Three me's, yeah. I like that.
But you know what it is? I realized like it depends on probably what you're exposed to as far as like documentary filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because
True.
when I was growing up, I loved watching the behind the scenes documentaries for movies. Like I had all those DVDs, and I literally every single DVD that my family owned, I watched all of the special features for all of them, even the movies I didn't like. And they all had these documentaries on them that were almost always like very real and never faked in anything, and it's almost all just interviews and like real like on set filming and stuff like that, and you can't really fake any of that stuff.
No.
And so my bar for like what a real like like how reality is presented was at a specific point when I was already like 13.
Yeah.
So whenever all of that's around the time like in the early 2000s when all of those big reality shows like Storage Wars and
Right.
and fucking even stuff like
So bad.
Next Top Model or like Iron Chef and stuff like that. The editing on that stuff is so like manipulative, and like you can just tell that they're like mashing different words together to make
Yeah.
sentences.
Yeah.
And they admit that they do this also if you look into it.
Yeah.
But it's just like that stuff always stuck out to me, and it like really rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't like anything about it. I mean, probably the most reality show that I actually regularly watched was Fear Factor, because I just thought it was really schlocky and dumb.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
But other than that, I don't know. Even American Idol, I was just like, nah, there's no way that
True.
they're counting votes. Like they're just voting off whoever they think is not like bankable, right? Like I already kind of knew that.
That's so interesting.
Has
Yeah.
that been proven? Is that what they do?
I don't know, but it
I
feels
would
like that
believe,
way.
like, why would you fucking bother?
Yeah,
Like,
why would you believe that they're
they have a plan? They're not going to put
No.
that in the fucking hands of.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna let the audience vote on the next winner.
Yeah.
There's
The
no
only
way.
documentaries I watched
hard.
as a kid were animal documentaries.
Oh yeah, Animal Planet. Oh man, I miss Animal
Yeah.
Planet.
I was obsessed with those.
Yeah. They had consistent programming too. That was such a cool network.
So
They had
good.
so much shit on there.
I went from Zaboomafoo, graduated right into like zebras getting killed by large animals.
Sick.
That shit's on my TikTok.
Yeah.
Really?
Animals getting like brutally killed.
Same.
Oh, yeah. Ian told me about this really horrible one that really
Oh
upset
my
me.
I know exactly which one you're gonna talk about.
What do you think?
Is it the baby goat getting eaten by like
No.
What is it? What's that Komodo dragon?
What?
Okay,
no.
Okay, it's not. It's like viewer discretion advised if you actually want to look this up, because it's the only animal video that I've watched where I was just like, that actually kind of affected me.
that one,
Normally I'm fine because I'm like just like, oh, that's just how nature is.
Yeah.
the
But
one
it's
that
literally
affected,
a baby goat just sitting there minding its own business. It's actually kind of funny. It's fucked up. It's just sitting there minding its own business, and then the fucking Komodo dragon, who's like a million times bigger than it, just walks up to it, sniffs it once, and then takes a big bite out of it.
Oh my
And the
God.
goat doesn't try to get away or anything. It just sits there.
That makes it worse.
It's
because
kinda
you're
sad.
Just like you don't know you don't know what's happening.
You're
Yeah,
in
the
shock.
the goat was so young that it was like probably just didn't even have like survival
That's so
instinct.
fucking. His was you can tell it.
Yeah.
It bummed me out.
Yeah. The one that I saw, which I'm not like a crazy cat guy, but fuck, man, this hurt. It was like a young, not super young, like a juvenile cheetah that was drinking from like a fucking crocodile lake. And you could tell he was like drinking there, like kind of cautious, like, oh, I wonder what I should be looking for. Fucking birds of prey, like licking the water. And like, you're like, oh, he's going to get attacked by an alligator. And sure enough, he got fucking grabbed by the alligator. And I guess the good news is it probably died very quickly. Remember,
I don't know.
drowning style.
Yeah.
Because the gator just, with zero effort, pulled it into the water, and you just never saw it again.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, so
That
Alligators
stuff I can handle because it's like it's over quickly, and you're just like, oh,
I just hate it because I'm like, you're a cheetah. You're not prey.
yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Why are you prey in this instance? Don't be prey in this instance.
See, I didn't see those. The ones that I was gifted on my feed that I sent to you was the 60-year-old lady that got her nails done and saw a big old fucking crocodile basking in the sun, and she like walked over
Florida
to it.
moment.
It was North Carolina, and she was
Florida
like,
moment.
yeah, she was like, oh, look at this. And the people working at the nail salon were like, don't do that. We saw it grab a deer literally the other day. And she's like trying to take pictures of it or whatever. And then it just latched onto her leg and like grabs her, and she's like in the water with it. And it's like holding onto her leg. And they call 911, and she's standing there like calm or like in shock, obviously. And she's like, I'll never do this again. And then it death rolled her right after.
Right after she said that?
Yeah, killed her.
That's comedic timing on the alligators, crocodiles part.
I just thought that was crazy to be that calm. I'll never do this again.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you supposed to do? Scream? I mean, it's not going to let you go.
I would fucking be trying to gouge its eyes out or something.
True. I would be fighting back probably,
Like,
but
I wouldn't be fucking.
Yeah. Also, I think
lamenting.
some of the, like, there's a big animal near me trying to kill me. Like, I think you're kind of taught to be as big and loud as possible, be
Yeah.
as threatening as possible. And, I mean, there are animals designed to make the fucking crazy, scary, loud noise. And you're
Yeah.
like, well, that's the least that I can do right now if I'm not being currently strangled.
God gave you lungs.
Yeah. Like,
Use them.
yeah, it ain't going to kill you to fucking screech at it.
No, but it might kill you to not.
Yeah.
So,
So it's kind of like just try it.
I mean, not
might
that
like
alligators care. It might like it, is that you said?
Try it. You might like it. It might
Oh.
save your life.
I like
mean,
that.
how do people come up with the theories, the now like widely accepted theories of like, if you see a bear, fucking get big and loud, or in some cases, if it's, I guess, attacking you or definitely going to attack you, I guess you abandon big and loud and you go
Play
fetal
dead.
or play dead.
Yeah.
Like there are a couple things that you do, and it's only because that's what's been tried, and the people who survived, people like
Yeah.
jot it down. All right, big and loud.
Black bear, you get big and loud. Grizzly bear, you play dead.
Right. That makes sense.
Because if a grizzly wants to fuck with you, it's going to fuck with you
Yeah.
regardless.
in polar bear, you just say your prayers
Yeah. Yeah. Because those things are
because they're going to fuck you up.
fucked. Those things are terrifying. There's that one video of the guy who's like in the glass dome thing, and he's filming the polar bear trying to get in at him. And they're really patient. Like polar bears, like the way that they hunt is they sit at holes and they wait for seals for sometimes weeks. So there's been like stories of polar bears like camping out at people's like campsites
right.
and houses,
waiting for them to
for
come out. Yeah.
Fucked.
It makes sense. I mean, that's what I'd do if I was in their situation.
Well, they only eat like once every month or something,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they're just waiting for their dinner.
There was also another interesting crocodile-related story that Anisa brought up to me with a dog, like a stray dog that was running from a pack of other dogs.
Yeah, this one has a good ending.
And this was in India, I think.
I think it was in
And,
India.
I think it was a bit of an eyewitness type meme, but they also, I think, either have video or just some pictures. But basically, they witnessed the dog jump into the water to flee these other dogs, and then the alligators that were in the water didn't eat it. They nudged it and pushed it back onto shore.
Yep.
And some of the scientists are, hypothesizing that it's because alligators can maybe, in some cases, have a bit of empathy.
Yeah, it's alligator empathy.
Alligator empathy.
Because they've done the test with alligators. The the test of whether or not animals are aware of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and alligators scored really high. They scored higher or as high as pigs. I can't remember. It's one or the other. But like they're very smart.
I want to take that phrase, alligator empathy, and apply it to a specific scenario, like a type of empathy that people display, like when it only like suits to benefit them or something like that. I mean, obviously it needs reworking because I want it to be applicable to the alligators.
You want it to be sort of like crocodile tears.
Yes. Yes. Ah, you got me, Dane. You got me.
Alligator empathy.
Alligator
So
empathy.
you either have crocodile tears or alligator empathy, one or the other.
Yes.
But yeah,
exactly.
they think that they felt bad for the little guy. They were like, "We'll help you out."
Or maybe there was just a long-term investment. They're like, why don't you go out there, come back with your little babies?
Right, fatten up.
True.
Yeah, fat.
Oh, they fucking fish think that we have alligator empathy when we throw them back. But truthfully, we're throwing them back because we want them to get fatter.
Yeah, they're not big enough yet.
Yeah.
Oh, alligator empathy.
Evil.
Yeah, so that's what alligator empathy. It's empathy, but it's self-serving.
Right.
Self-serving empathy.
Yeah, there you go. There's the definition.
That's so sad. We shouldn't villainize alligators. They're so cute.
Yeah, true. Okay. I think we're going to end the podcast for the YouTube watchers right now, but we have a lot more things to get through. So if you want to listen to the rest of this, remember to subscribe to our Patreon.
Yes.
And also remember to to leave a like. And now when I say subscribe, the subscribe button potentially glows. So that's also another thing.
What?
Subscribe. Subscribe. Yeah, that's what I saw on Twitter.
Oh.
I don't know if it's implemented yet. Maybe it's just in certain people's.
You know how many times Twitter tricks me with like, oh, if you hit the like button, it's a rainbow heart.
Yeah, well,
I hit
that's
the like
losers.
button.
I've seen evidence of it.
Oh.
It also makes sense for YouTube to implement something like that. So subscribe. It's down there. Subscribe. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.